Toradora is a classic anime that has kept its popularity throughout the years, an achievement that is harder than ever for modern anime. Toradora did something other anime have not done for me in a long time. I watched the entirety of the series within one day, and then I watched it again, straight away afterwards. Being within the romance genre, Toradora needed to find a way of standing out from the crowd, and it found many weird and wonderful ways. I'm here to ensure you know why you need to watch Toradora now. Toradora was produced by JC Staff and released in the autumn of 2008 and adapted from a light novel of the same name by Takemiya Yuyuko. Ryuji is a high school student with an unhealthy love for cleaning. Unfortunately, he has rather threatening facial features, which scare off other people because they think he's a violent thug based on appearance. He's actually a very kind soul who enjoys helping others. When it's the start of a new school year, Ryuji bumps into Taiga. Taiga has a reputation for her aggressiveness and oftentimes violent nature. Taiga has a tendency to mean the opposite of what she expressed. She is self-centered and is a bit of a klutz, but means well. After school, Ryuji finds an envelope in his bag, which is obviously a love letter, but there is no letter inside. Taiga breaks into Ryuji's home, attempting to retrieve the love letter, and when she comes close to splitting his head open, she learns that the letter is not inside of the envelope. After feeding Taiga's empty stomach, Ryuji learns that Taiga fancies Kitamura, his best friend. Kitamura is intelligent, on the student council, and has a lot of self-confidence. He can be rather dense in certain situations though. Taiga learns that Ryuji fancies Minori. Minori is Taiga's best friend. Minori is a bright and cheerful girl with burning passions. Every second of her day is filled with sports or work, and she cheers on her friends, even if it means sacrificing something for herself. Both Taiga and Ryuji agree to help each other on their pursuit of romance. On their quest of love, a new character steps in, Ami. Ami is Kitamura's childhood friend. She is a model, and despite appearing to be a kind airhead, she has a cruel and cunning inner self that sparks when agitated or when she's bored. All of these characters put up facades in realistic ways. Ami starts with the largest facade of them all, but over time becomes the most honest person to themselves. She is also the one who pushes for a lot of the narrative beats in the story. Toradora is not simply a romance, but it is also a character drama. The difference between a typical drama and a character drama is that a normal drama series focuses on the events. Character dramas focus on the people and how the events affect them, how they change in response to events, and so on. What some may view as a con to this series is that we know who will be the final couple at the end. It is obvious from the minute we meet our main characters. What matters is the emotional and heartfelt journey. Watching these characters grow and mature is what Toradora is about. There are also a plethora of unexpected twists. Even the ending itself has excellent changes to a traditional romance, and even when the romance elements of the story are finished, other elements like Taiga's family problems are still unresolved, which means the show can dedicate time to develop the romance beyond the first kiss. This is not Clannad after-story levels of relationship growth, but there are not many romance shows that focus on the inner workings of a relationship beyond the confession. The humour in this show is, dare I say, perfect. Never missing a beat, and I always roared with laughter. The show has its quieter moments where we spend time learning about the characters, their ambitions, desires, and their emotions. For a moment, the show slows down to increase our understanding of these wonderful characters. Even the side characters, like the classmates, are lovable, each having traits and quirks we can remember them by. Toradora has what I believe to be the single greatest episode in anime, episode 19, Christmas Eve Festival. This episode fully encapsulates the heart of this show and just how well we know and love these characters. It will leave you teary-eyed by the time the credits roll. Toradora uses a soft colour palette and rounded edges for a smooth art style. There are also no deep blacks or whites on the image, as that would prevent the image from looking soft and gentle. There is also grain on the image, which helps the show feel closer to real life, as images captured on film contain grain. The background artwork and animation fluidity varies. Toradora's standard for these aspects is high. All of the background artwork and animation is great. Even the mundane scenes and less active animated sequences shine. However, there are moments when the background artwork and animation peak, and it is absolutely astonishing when it does. The detail in the artwork for this series is stylistically plain, relying on the grain and colour grading for the details. This is by no means a negative. This method of achieving high detail scenery by using colour and artificial grain gives Toradora a unique beauty. This method also means that line details are kept to a minimum, allowing the soft colour to stand out. Toradora uses natural lighting. The outdoor scenes are realistically lit by sunlight, casting shadows and saturating the image in brightness. And the indoor scenes use artificial lighting like a lamp to realistically brighten a room. This added with the film grain and use of colour all collaborate to give Toradora a lifelike aesthetic. The character designs in Toradora are outstanding. Each character has visual traits which are both memorable and play into the character. For example, Tiger's bushy hair is unique to her, and her short stature is both memorable, and she has insecurities about her height. Ryuji has small yet sharp eyes and a tall stature, which he dislikes, since his facial features make him look scary when he's actually soft underneath. Even elements like posture and clothing have a lot to say about these characters. Ryuji hunches forward, Kitamura stands up straight, and Ami straightens her back when she's playing the nice girl, but when she can, she slouches, and even her facial expression changes to represent that she's no longer playing the nice girl. The character's wardrobe is also important to the character's development, and where they are within themselves. For example, Kitamura dresses formally no matter the occasion, until later on in the series, once he's broken out of his shell. Ami, being a model, dresses according to the latest fashion, and always looks her absolute best. And Ryuji dresses casual because he sees no point in overdressing. Toradora's animation is special because it is used to tell the story, give an insight to the characters, add to a setting or theme, and so much more. Toradora was made to be an animated series. The soundtrack, for the most part, is standard fare for romance and slice of life anime. However, Toradora has some tracks up its sleeve, which are beautiful. The standout track for this anime is Lost My Pieces. It starts slowly and builds up the emotion, and then floods your ears with its melody of heartache. The majority of the track's purpose is to simply boost the mood of the scene and go unnoticed. That is by no means a negative, as it is my philosophy that a soundtrack that increases the emotional response to a scene and goes unnoticed is what makes a good soundtrack. Lost My Pieces is a track that uses what I call the Star Wars effect, where the purpose of the track is to be heard to increase the emotional response of the viewer. Toradora uses stereo audio, which means all of the sound is coming from the front two speakers, for both the Japanese and English audio options. The audio has plenty of bass and the soundstage is very clear, so no sound is overshadowed by other sound effects and the dialogue is clearly heard. Toradora has an amazing Japanese voice cast and one of the best dubs out there. Johnny Young Bosch, Cassandra Lee Morris, Wendy Lee, Eric Kimmer, and so many more. This is a show I alternate between the language options because the English dub and Japanese audio are so good. For this show, I have no preference on which to recommend. Just watch the version you think you'd prefer, or try both. The first opening song, Pre-Parade, is a song that could have been written by Taiga. It describes her outlook, her behaviour, how she is seen, how she feels, and so much more. The second opening, Silky Hearts, takes a more dramatic turn with a strong and loud beat. It is about being afraid of getting hurt from falling in love, and the vocals contain a sense of fear, which adds to the emotional pull of the song. The first ending song, Vanilla Salt, is about not wanting a relationship that is filled with only sweetness. As that is a fantasy, the message is to add some salt to the relationship, allowing your partner to see more of you and not simply a perceived image of a perfect self. The second ending song is called Orange. This song is about not knowing who you are, wanting to grow and experience more, to mature and become an individual. If anything, this song is reminiscent of Army's character. Finally, I will mention the song that is sung in episode 19, Holy Night. It is sung by Taiga and Army. In the English dub, this song is not sung by the English voice actresses, it is sung in Japanese by the Japanese voice actresses. I find when watching a dub and a song plays in Japanese, it pulls me out of the show. If anything, I find it jarring. This is a shame because earlier in the series, we heard Minori and Ryuji sing their school anthem in English, and other anime like The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya dub the songs in English. However, this one nitpick has not prevented me from thinking that this episode is the single greatest episode to come from an anime. Toradora is rightfully a modern classic. An emotionally gripping show with some of the best written characters to come from anime. I would be doing this anime an injustice if I were not to give this anime the certification of watch before you die. If you have seen Toradora and want to watch something like it, then allow me to point you towards The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, another show where a tsundere outcast girl forces a guy to take part in her weird and bizarre schemes, except Haruhi is 100 times more headstrong and what she is after runs deeper than romance. My second recommendation is Clannad. Clannad shares a similar quality when it comes to character, drama and romance to Toradora. When you get to Clannad After Story, you see quite possibly the greatest fictional romance fleshed out and explored. Your heart will get broken multiple times, so be sure to bring a box of tissues when watching. Both of these shows have some of the greatest character development from any medium to date and have qualities unique to them. And with that I leave you. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out my other videos for more reviews and discussions on anime, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.